This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Central Texas Life with Ann Harder presents Central Texas Events.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Events, and we have a very special event to share with you in Bell County at the Bell County Museum. The wonderful Coleman Hampton is here, and just love to visit with you about what's happening there. You have an amazing lecture series that is always well attended, but we want to tell them about Sarah Bird.
Absolutely. So this is our third installment of the 2024 Spring Lecture Series. On May 17th, Austin-based author Sarah Bird is coming to debut her new book, Juneteenth Rodeo. So we're excited. The lecture series has really taken off. It's free for the community. It's something that we do to, educate and engage everyone in Bell County. So it's really special that Sarah Bird is coming to do this
and to
presentation.
debut her book.
That's right,
yeah. That's really cool. I had the opportunity to read one of her books, Daughter of a Queen, which is amazing. It's a beautifully written book through a book club. And she's an amazing author. But her concept for this new book was something that's been decades in the making.
Yes. So in the 1970s, Sarah was a young photojournalist traveling across Texas, documenting events through the lens of her camera. So she traveled an African-American rodeo circuit in East Texas, and for their Juneteenth celebrations, there were African-American rodeos taking place to celebrate the event. And this is long before, the holiday was commemorated here in the States. So it's really an interesting look into those rodeos and the history of African-American cowboys, and rodeo participants that really kind of formed the early core of cowboy and rodeo culture.
Now, I would assume she's going to be making a talk, and she will also be there with Demetrius Pearson.
I'm not Demetrius Pearson. I don't think will be there, but he was a collaborator on the book. So Demetrius Pearson at the University of Houston collaborated with her on essays for the book. So Sarah and Demetrius wrote essays, and then I think the majority of the book, which I have not seen because it's going to print right before her talk, will be her photographs from those historic rodeos.
Well, and these photographs, I'm excited to see them myself, and you can have the opportunity to do that in Austin at the Neil Cochran House Museum, because they'll also be doing something with Sarah Bird and this book, and that's to have an exhibit of the photographs.
Oh, that's fabulous. The Neil Cochran House is very dear to my heart. One of my professors and mentors, Dr. Ken Haferteep, worked at the Neil Cochran House when he was getting his PhD.
Right,
at the
he's
University
an expert on Abner Cook,
yes.
who also designed the governor's mansion as well as the Neil Cochran House.
Yes, so Neil Cochran, that is fantastic that they're having an exhibition of her photos.
And it opens June 5th, so it's after your event.
Oh, great.
In Belton, but it opens June 5th, closes September 1st, but on June 22nd, they're doing a Juneteenth reception, kind of a reception that is free to the public that evening at the Neil Cochran House.
Great. Well, I'll have to make it down in June to see the exhibition and the opening.
Yeah. Well, it's really exciting to see how this aspect of Texas culture, the African-American rodeos, is being highlighted in this way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's important and wonderful to see this rodeo culture that really hasn't gotten the attention that it has deserved over the years. And these are photos that Sarah took back in the 1970s.
She's been sitting on these a while.
Right. And she's, the University of Texas Press published her book, and I think it will, she is really an institution in Texas. She's written for Texas Monthly. She's done things for Paramount, CBS, TNT. She's written in so many magazines that I can't list them all.
Did one of her books was made into a movie, or?
Yes, one of her screenplays was made into a movie in 1990, and so she's
been around.
Absolutely, she's very gracious to come to our lecture series. We've had a number of wonderful speakers over the years, and we're just really honored that Sarah's debuting the book on May 17th, and We're hoping for a great crowd, and I think it'll
At
be
what
really
time
great.
will that be, Theron?
So the talk is from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
That night. It's in our Roscoe C. Harrison Auditorium in our historic 1905 Carnegie Library. So it's a wonderful setting. The lecture series is something that really resonates with our community.
So how long have you been doing this lecture series?
So we've been doing the lecture series since 2018. So
Okay.
it's in its
Yeah.
6th year.
Yeah.
We've had everyone from Drayton McLean Jr.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you had a NASA scientist.
yes,
you had just different
Bernard
ones that I've
Anthony
seen.
Harris. This year we've had the Texanist from Texas Monthly. We've had S.C. Gwynn, another well-known author in the area. Dr. Rebecca Sharpless came last year and did a really interesting talk on Southern baking, a book that she had recently come out with. So we're really fortunate, and we're so proud of our museum and this. Of course, all the things we do.
I love the museum, and I love the fact that I was able to come and do a Traveling Texas segment with you. And really because, as you mentioned, it's a Carnegie Library, and there are not that many of them still around. But it was a really important part of Texas history that money was spent to develop these libraries. In this case, it's become a museum, but there are a handful maybe in Texas that are still actually serving as libraries, but many of them have been torn down. And so you've got this beautiful historic architecture too.
Absolutely. The Belton Carnegie Library served as a library until 1975. It then became the Bell County Historical Museum and later the Bell County Museum. So it is a wonderfully restored and preserved Carnegie Library. As you said, the Carnegie Libraries across the state serve such an important function for education and literacy. And we have, I believe, 13 left in the state. Unfortunately, the Belton Carnegie Library, which started with petitions from the Belton Women's Wednesday Club to Andrew Carnegie. So we're so fortunate that it's there. We
Thank those ladies for doing that.
That's right. So our board, our county commissioners, staff, volunteers, everyone plays a part in what we do in Bell County. And for the surrounding areas, everyone's welcome to come.
So you still have the world's largest mustache cup collection?
That's right. So we have.
I love it.
People love it.
I geek out over things like
we
that.
have and we've had a few additions. So we have the world's largest mustache teacup collection. These are teacups that have an
beautiful.
interior ridge to protect the wax on men's mustaches when that was
Getting into
popular.
the hot
So
drink.
I think we're close to 1,000. We try to rotate
really?
those, but people really enjoy. They just love seeing those. It's kind of a curious collection.
Oh, I know, and so it's right there, kind of on the main street. It's easy to get to. What are your hours? Are you open?
So we're open Tuesday through Friday from 12 to 5 p.m. We have those hours to accommodate the dozens and dozens of school tours
kids,
that come
I'm sure.
through.
Yeah.
So we're 12 to 5 Tuesday through Friday, and then 10 to 5 on Saturday.
And you're still sort of involved in helping get people to the Galt excavation site or the archaeological site. I know that's where you can kind of coordinate if you'd like a trip out there.
Right. The Galt School is a really important, Galt School of Archaeological Research has done a fantastic dig. You can go to their website or contact them. I know they're still doing tours, and we have an exhibit in the museum on
That's where I first learned about that.
Is that right? Yeah, it's one of the most significant archaeological digs in North America.
It's remarkable.
Yes, it's incredible, and a great part of North American history and Bell counties as well.
Such an important thing that you're doing, Coleman, and everything that you do. So when did you decide you wanted to work in museums and deal with historical things?
Well, so I was a history major at Baylor, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'll probably go and get a PhD and teach history. And I was taking a writing class at Baylor, and we had a professional development project where you identified a career based on your major. So I was checking around, what types of careers are there for history majors, and I came across museum curator. And I thought, that is so interesting. I've never thought about having a career in museums. After that, I started working at the Baylor University Institute of Oral History with Stephen Sloan and Stephen Seeloff. worked at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame and the Mayborn Museum, and went through the Masters of Museums program at Baylor. So it really,
they have a fabulous program, yeah.
yes, yeah, it just started when I was an undergraduate, and when I realized that working in a museum was a career option, and it was something that I've always loved museums, and that's kind of how it started, was just kind of looking around at different careers for history majors while I was at Baylor.
Well, I'm thankful for all you do at the Bell County Museum for sure, and especially for this upcoming very, very special lecture series that you've got. Again, this is going to be the book debut for Sarah Bird. The name of the book again
is Juneteenth Rodeo. So Sarah will have copies of the books. It's the first time that the public will get a glimpse at it, so please, we'll have it on our Bell County Museum website and Facebook. We do ask that people pre-register.
I was going to say, because it's not a huge room. I mean,
yes,
I'm sure you have a capacity limit.
We have a capacity of, I think, 175. Last week we had over 160 people to see David Courtney, the Texanist from Texas Monthly. So it is free of charge. We do ask that people pre-register through our website, and we'll have that up soon for people.
So there's no charge?
No, there's no charge. It's free to the public, but we do have to, it's a wonderful space upstairs, but we just want to make sure that we're in our capacity limits.
Right.
And it's, from the time that this lecture series started, it's just amazing that we're thinking about capacity and things. And so it's really,
really.
the lecture series has it's resonated, and we do exhibits, educational programs. For school tours, we offer $50 bus grants. So if a school brings their school tour there, to defray the cost of bringing a bus, we will grant $50 per bus to help the schools bring them in. So we do a lot of things, and the lecture series is one part of that.
It's so important for kids to learn and appreciate the history that they have.
Absolutely.
And what a unique aspect of history, again, as the African American rodeos, the black rodeos, and Sarah Bird's work for so many years, back in the 70s, started documenting these through her pictures. And again, if you want to actually see the photographs on display, there will be up and available June 5th through September 1st at the Neil Cochran House Museum, another museum
absolutely.
in Austin on San Gabriel Street, right close to the UT campus, just almost on the campus.
It is a beautiful home. It's a incredible historic house museum right near the University of Texas campus, and I'm just so pleased to know that they're doing an exhibit to really shine a light on this work that Sarah has done, but also the people that took part in these rodeos, and that the Juneteenth celebrations have been happening for a long, long time in Texas. And I think it's
right after the Civil War.
Really interesting, yes.
And of course, they'll have their opening reception on June 22nd at the Neil Cochran House that evening. It is free and open to the public as well. So much to really kind of celebrate in this woman's remarkable work.
Absolutely, yes. So.
Well, Coleman, thank you so much for
thank
your
you
time.
for having me. It's always great to see
being
you.
here with, I know, and anytime. I love talking about what's happening there in Belton, and this is Central Texas events after all. So thank you for being with us, and thank you. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you so much, Ann.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.